35 years ago, I had the good fortune of showing some of my artwork at the William Turner Gallery, the Jack Glenn Gallery, a couple of other galleries here in LA, and I even sold some of my work, which was super cool. At that time, I had the thought of how could I free paint from the canvas surface? Was that possible? I came up with an archival solution. At the time, I was enamored with the work of Rothko and Stella, and so I was trying to use my technique to imitate their work, and it just wasn't working. I wound up giving up my artistic identity, and I started working with my dad selling plastic extrusion equipment. And by 2018, I was pretty despondent. I started having these visions of plastic extrudate morphing into these strands of paint. I made paintings with the strands and they failed. They started stretching before my eyes, and so here I've got these pile of paint strands laying on the floor, and I'm like, okay, that's a problem. I came up with an approach, and in August of 2019, I completed my first piece called Kaleidoscopic. It's just expanded from there. I'm Thomas Paikunka, and this is Freed Painting. I define freed painting as this process of liberating paint from the canvas surface, employing a strength member in order to allow the paint to exist free in three-dimensional space for the first time in art history. As far as I know, that's not been done. Paint has its own identity in the freed painting process. It's no longer, I would say, at the whim of the artist as the artist applies it. Now you have paint existing on its own. It's a pretty tedious, repetitive, simple process. Each strand really winds up being like a snowflake. The way in which the paint adheres, some of it might drip down, but then it coagulates, it congeals here and there. Each strand is an individual. It's an individual strand of paint, which then joins a collective, which then creates a finished painting, coming together to then bring to life an idea. I started with the idea of the strands of paint. That was going to be the way in which I could explore this liberation of paint being freed from an application surface. I would say there's about 15 paintings that are in the garage here that are really about the different ways of exploring and what I can do with the paint strands. What has sort of emerged from there is a specific series called the Clairvoyant series, which uses a different kind of strength member that allows me, it's a transparent strength member, that allows me to explore and create paintings that have a transparent or translucent quality, which is, to me, it's mind-blowing. Going into the Clairvoyant series, it's taking a next step, working with the clear mediums, the gels, the pastes, to create transparent strands, transparent panels, sheets, what have you. It's an evolutionary process. I mean, I now have 10 clairvoyant series paintings that are done. I'm still just scratching the surface just on that. Then I have, like what you see, you have the Bloom series. I mean, this is going to be 12 feet wide when it's done. The series that I'm probably most excited about right now will be called the Enlightenment series. These next 50 years in humanity's future, I think, are going to be pretty pivotal. Humanity is, I'd like to believe, on the cusp of some kind of spiritual evolution. And I am so excited about my Enlightenment series because that's what it's going to explore, study, present. We have enough division, there's enough hatred in the world. I think we are ready for some direction towards harmony, empathy, compassion. And I hope that these paintings help lead humanity in that more positive direction. Life and meditation, it teaches you about being here, present, focused, about just being. It's like immersing each strength member in the paint in order to liberate that paint from an application surface. It's the same like myself, being like the strength member, immersing myself in the process in order to create this new way of painting.